episode of Frankly Speaking Sports. I'm your host, Larry Frank. Hope everybody's doing well on this Wednesday morning. I want to make sure that we do remind you that we have some terrific guests that'll be coming up tomorrow and Friday. Alex Gleitman, he's an Ohio State insider. We'll be talking to him about some college football tomorrow. Things are going to be opening up real quickly here, starting this Monday on these campuses. So we definitely want to talk to them and talk to him. And then what better time than on Friday to have Brandon Kravitz, the Orlando Magic radio host, joining us. The NBA is going to have a meeting tomorrow discussing the final plan on returning to action. So we should hear something tomorrow on the NBA coming back. When is it going to be? When is it going to start? Who is it going to include? And then we have the luxury of having Brandon Kravitz join us on this Friday. And then all next week we have some great guests. You know, on Wednesdays, I tell a lot of my listeners this. We have had guests in the past, but I'm trying to keep Wednesdays open to the last minute until there is just no other place to put another guest, because I like to open the forum up. I love to talk about certain things going on in the world of sports, and, you know, I like to give my opinion on it. And sometimes on Wednesdays, I have a habit of really being to the point. I don't pull any punches. I tell it like it is. Some people like it. Some people don't. And I apologize for that. But remember, when we started this show a long time ago, we said that we agree to disagree. And there's going to be maybe some individuals that disagree with me today. And maybe, you know, there'll be people that just agree with me. And either way is okay. That's why we do this. It doesn't make me right or you wrong. It just means we have a difference of opinions. And even though we have a difference of opinions, the one thing I'm sure about is that we both believe in our opinions. And we're going to open it up with a very unfortunate topic that includes assistant head coach at Clemson, Danny Pearman, who made some derogatory or used a derogatory word with DJ Greenlee. I think it was about 3 years ago during a practice. And, you know, looking at the comments from both Coach Danny Pearman and from DJ Greenlee, there's something that sticks out to me, and I don't want people to miss the mark. I understand we have a white coach using a derogatory word in front of a black man. There is no place, and we've talked about this before, for discrimination, for, racism in this world. There is just no place for it. We have talked about this, about the NFL. We talked about the injustice that has happened with George Floyd in Minneapolis. And we talked about all the protests going on in the United States currently due to this injustice that was done in Minneapolis. And, 3 years later, it comes out, and rightfully so, there's no place for these words in the human society. Yet we still struggle with this. And in the comments, Coach Pearman goes on to say, 3 years ago on the practice field, I made a grave mistake involving DJ Greenlee. I repeated, and I am repeating the word repeated. He repeated a racial slur that he overheard when trying to stop, I repeat, trying to stop the word from being used on the practice field. What I overheard, I had no right to repeat. Now, this is where the situation gets a little, I don't know what the right word to use is, maybe complicated, and let me explain why. Nobody has the right to use that word. Nobody has the right to use the N-word anywhere, any shape, any form, anywhere. It is wrong, wrong, wrong. But I think here is where we got to be careful. And let me explain why. I will once again say this. There is no right using the word. But here's a gentleman, from what I understand and from all the reports are saying, not just from white individuals, but even the black teammates as well, is they are upset that he used the word. And they should be. There's no right for it. But on the other hand, they're using the same word. And if we want the word to stop being used in this country, both whites and blacks need to stop using the word. And, here's a white man that they say, even the black teammates are saying, he was trying to correct people from using the word. And now they want to punish him for trying to stop the racist word on the football field. It doesn't matter who said the word. It doesn't matter if you're white. It doesn't matter if you're black. The word was said, and it is wrong. But don't say it's just wrong when a white person uses it. It has to be wrong when a black individual says it as well. And that's the point we were trying to make the other day. And that's the point a lot of these sportscasters, a lot of these radio hosts, a lot of these owners in professional sports, they're shying away from it. They're shying away from it. And I'm speaking from a white man who does not have one prejudice bone in his body. Anybody that knows me knows that. But in order for these words to stop being used, we have to stop using them as a society, not just where it's okay for white people not to say it and it's okay for black people to say it. It's not right to say at all. And, you had a white individual here trying to stop it. He was trying to do the right thing. And because he used the same word, it wasn't okay. And you know what? I agree with you. It is not okay for Danny Pearman to say that word. But it is not okay for DJ Greenlee to use the word either. Just because he's black doesn't give him the right to say a derogatory word towards his own people. Other people heard this. If Danny Pearman is a white individual and he hears this, don't you think kids at a younger age hear what other black kids are saying if they use the same word? The word has no place in society, and it needs to be eliminated by whites in their vocabulary, and it needs to be eliminated by blacks. And, here is an individual, and I don't know this guy from the guy down the street, this Danny Pearman guy. I know he's an assistant coach, or was an assistant coach under Dabo Swinney. And, people say, did Dabo Swinney go ahead and punish him? Well, Dabo Swinney, in my eyes, should have punished both the coach and the player. But what? You can't go ahead and punish a black individual for using a derogatory word? That word should not be used on the entire football field. And from what DJ Greenlee, the receiver, is saying is he was being corrected by the coach. See, I want justice to be served. I am so sick of racism in this world. It nauseates me. It disgusts me. I just want to puke over it, how one human being can treat another human being so differently because the color of their skin. I just can't understand it. I have never understood it. And I've said this over and over again. We are all the same. We are built the same. The only thing that was chosen different by the Lord on us is the color of our skin. That is it. Underneath our skin, everything is the same. And, we have to treat people the same, but the punishments have to be the same. And, all I've been hearing, and I've said it too over the past couple of days, is our black friends need our help. They need the white people's help, and the black people need the white people's help, and the white people need the black people's help. Because there's only one way to do this. There's only one way to get justice. There's only one way down the road to eliminate racism, and that's being unified, and that's working together. And here, from what I'm seeing here, and I have no right to stick up for this coach, and he is wrong to use the word. I want to make that very clear. He is wrong. Just as wrong as the player using the word. But understand, everyone, black and white, here was a coach that was trying to help. He was trying to get the word eliminated and repeated the word as an example of the word. And that was said even by the players, which to me it just looks like you're trying to start trouble, because you're talking about a coach that was actually trying to help and explain to everybody that this word is unacceptable. So if you want people to continue to help, it's almost like the cops out there that say, why doesn't anybody help us? They see us struggling out there. They see us getting, filming things instead of helping us. Why, whether white or black people they're arresting are trying to beat them up. And the reason they don't get involved, people keep saying, is because the consequences of getting involved has penalties. And it's wrong. If I go out there and I help a cop who is arresting someone and is getting his butt kicked, and I go ahead and I beat the crap, or I go help a young lady. A young lady is being attacked by a gentleman. I go ahead, help that young lady out. I don't know if she's going to be raped, beat up, or whatever. I just see her being assaulted. I go ahead, I help her. I beat the crap out of the individual, maybe kill the individual so that I can save this lady's life, and I'm going to jail. I'm being penalized because I killed the guy or I assaulted the guy. Well, let's not do this. Let's look at the facts before we judge this situation with Danny Pearman. And once again, please, I emphasize, I'm not justifying the language that was used here, but I'm not justifying it in either situation. It has to be the same. It has to be. In order for us to eliminate this racism, we have to stop not just whites from using that words, from blacks using that words too. Because, there are kids out there that are very impressionable. What we say and what we do, they follow our leads. And if they're hearing, they don't care if we're white or we're black, they hear the word, they're going to use it. So I challenge everyone together to stop using that word. And just let's take the facts in this Danny Pearman case and find out if the guy was trying to help. If he was trying to make a point where this word wasn't being used, or should not be used, and he was trying to explain that to the entire team, it's an example that might have went wrong, but the intent was right. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Franklin. Frankly Speaking Sports. I want to apologize right up front about not having Dickie V on today. You know, I'm not sure what's going on with our Facebook account. We get a lot of the Dickie V tips of the day from Facebook, but for the third time this month, I've been disabled from Facebook. So, you know, it comes out that you are not following community guidelines. I'm not sure what community guidelines I'm not following, because all I do is put my podcast on, sports news on, nothing derogatory in any way, shape, or form. So I'm not going on, you know, understanding what's going on with Facebook. Something is completely wrong there. I think I have an individual that, you know, for some reason, every time I come back on Facebook, this individual is jealous of the success that our show is having. And it's definitely wrong, but I guess they're complaining about something. And instead of Facebook being smart enough to realize by looking at my account that nothing is wrong, they continue to keep disabling me. So I do apologize for that. And, you know, hopefully our account is back up tomorrow and we'll have another great tip of the day from our buddy Dickie V. Also want to remind you, we got a lot of different platforms. When Facebook is up and not penalizing me for nothing, we do have a Facebook group. It's called Frankly Speaking Sports. We put all our podcasts, all our interviews, all the latest updated news that we can find or that we feel you need to know goes on that page. We also now have a YouTube channel. That's right. Frankly Speaking Sports. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is free. I repeat, it is free. All our videos, well, I should say audio, but all our audio tapes of the interviews we do and the podcast, we try to put on that show as quick as possible. So we will continue to try to do that as soon as our Facebook account comes back up so that we can share them with you. Also, follow us on Twitter. Please follow us on Twitter. We're getting a better following on Twitter. I'm new to Twitter. If you have a Twitter account, it's simple. Just follow me. It's at Larry Frankus. That's with a U-S at the end. And, you know, it's coming down that the NBA, thank goodness, is finally going to start their season. It looks like it's going to be in Orlando. They have a meeting tomorrow, sometime around the noonish hour. They'll have a meeting, and we will find out more information. But the great news is our guest on Friday just happens to be Brandon Kravitz, who is the radio host of the Orlando Magic. So we'll go ahead and we'll be able to talk to him about the upcoming season, what it means to different teams, and how it's all going to play out in this very, very, difficult season that we've had in the NBA. And everything I'm hearing, and I'm trying to get the information as it comes down and as quickly from Adrian Wojnarowski, is that the NBA is inviting 22 teams to Orlando. 13 Western Conference, 9 Eastern Conference, 8 regular season games per team. They play in for the 8th seeds, which start July 31st and end on October 12th. So we would still be about almost 2 months away from the actual season starting. They vote tomorrow to ratify. So according to Adrian, the NBA is back. Joining the 16 current playoff teams in Orlando, New Orleans, Portland, Phoenix, Sacramento, and San Antonio in the West, and Washington in the East. If the 9th seed is more than 4 games behind the 8th, the number 8 makes the playoffs. Fewer than 4, they will have a playoff play-in tournament. The play-in format requires a double elimination format for the 8th seed, a single elimination for the 9th seed per sources. The NBA's Board of Governors has a 12:30, so not noon, it's 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time call on Thursday with the intention of approving the league's plan for a 22-team return to play in Orlando. This is what the sources are telling ESPN. So it looks like as of tomorrow, the NBA will be back. Now we're already June 3rd, June 4th. So you're looking at about almost 2 months until they actually play a game. So if we can now just get baseball to get their you-know-what back together and come up with an agreement instead of arguing at this very difficult time, we could have baseball and we could go ahead and have basketball playoffs, the baseball season and the basketball playoffs actually going on at the same time. And the NHL, if you're not aware of this yet, we haven't really heard much about the NHL, but the NHL has voted to come back. They're ready. They're just waiting on the government, the officials, the authorities to give them the go-ahead. As soon as they're given the go-ahead, they're coming back to 2 hub cities, which they will choose. I believe it's between 12 different cities, but I believe 3 or 4 of those cities were actually in Canada. So I think those are going to end up being eliminated because of the different rules and, the different rules, the different authorities, and the things that they want from one country to be executed and put in place compared to the other country. So we'll have to see what's going on, but, we're starting to see it. Also this Monday, we got college football players allowed back on campus. So the facilities back on campuses are opening up. That's this Monday. That's 5 days away. And, they're planning on, like we've been saying, season going on just as planned. We listened in Arkansas yesterday. I think it was Governor Hutchinson, if I said that correctly. They asked him about, football, and does he plan on the stadium being filled in Arkansas and having fans? And his response is, we expect a football season just like any other football season. So, like we've said many times, things are starting to fall in place, and it's only a matter of time that the NBA, which we'll hear tomorrow and we'll report to you as soon as we get word on it, but as of now, it looks like July 1st, the NBA will be back, and thank goodness, we need sports back. I want to remind you all once again that tomorrow we are going to have Alex Gleitman. He's the Ohio State insider. So we'll get to talk to him some college football and about the players returning and what they're expecting in Ohio State this year. Also Friday, tomorrow's the NBA vote, which looks like it's overwhelmingly going to pass. We get to speak on Friday to Brandon Kravitz, the Orlando Magic radio host. So it looks like we'll have a lot of things to talk about it with him coming up this Friday. I want to thank, we're going to have an abbreviated show today. And because sometimes on Wednesday night, if we go ahead and we can get Facebook Live back up, we do a live show. So we tried to go ahead and do half of it on this platform and half of it on Facebook Live so we can open it up on Wednesday nights. So we'll see what's happening then. But if we're back, we may have a show. If not, I apologize. And then, of course, we'll be back tomorrow with Alex Gleitman joining us. So I want to thank everybody so much for joining us today. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow on Frankly Speaking Sports.